All right, welcome back, everyone. This is your casting host, Beef. Going to be casting some more games out of the Aces Republic of Gamers tournament at Assembly Winter 2012. And right now, we are starting Game 2 between these two players. First game went to our Pro Toss on Antigua Shipyard. The second game here on MLG Shakura's Plateau. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we do have the Pro Toss from Team Acer. He's red, and he is Elfi. Bottom right-hand corner, we do have Millennium's star player, the French Zerg from Team USA. He is Stephano. And so once again, Game 1 being there on Antigua Shipyard, we saw that Stephano's tried and true 12-minute Ro8 max out, something that he's gotten really good in the months following these games, with these games being about 3 months old, was not actually successful. He ended up going Spire Tech at about 120 supply, and did not end up using that technology at all whatsoever. A 2-base Immortal push coming out of the Protoss was just way too much to handle. And so right now, it looks like the probe is going to be getting into Stephano's base, scouting him out real quickly, and I would expect that Stephano's going to be dropping a 14 pool as a result. I'm not going to be able to get something like a 15 quick expansion off because of that early scout. Yeah, so there's the 14 pool. No shenanigans coming out right now, nothing like a 7 pool to try to really take advantage of the tendency for most Protosses to forge fast expand these days, which it looks like is what's going to come out of our Protoss with that pylon there on the low ground. But yeah, in Antigua Shipyard, really hard to hold that fourth base, and the positional fourth base there in the middle did get taken out relatively quickly when Stephano tried to take that at about the 10-minute mark. It was taken out by the 11-minute mark. Here on Shakuras, the third is really close to the opponent's third, and since they are going to be close by ground position, close by air positions. Is that close by air? Something like that. Close by air positions, it's going to be very easy for Elfi to march right across this really small little choke and make sure that Stephano's going to pay. So we'll see what Stephano's going to be able to do. A little bit easier to hold the fourth than in Antigua, though. Something a little bit closer. There's going to be one communal choke right here that he's going to be able to set up most of his defenses along. And it looks like Stephano actually does get an early hatchery down without a pylon block from Elfi. Kind of interesting. Oh, excuse me. And so at this point, Elfi is going to be taking double early gases, something that at this point, without a cybernetics core down, is a little bit early from what I know. So it might be some kind of shenanigans coming out of here. I'm not exactly sure, but this almost seems to me like it could be some kind of shenanigans, whether that may be something like Dark Templar or Stargate play. We will need to see. I need to turn that off. I need to figure out how to turn those off. But Stephano's actually in a pretty good position right now, able to get his third down. Got a Zergling chasing the probe, going to be able to scout for any kind of photon cannoning that's going to be going on. And so Stephano's in a pretty good way right now. I would expect him to be in a little bit of advantage, really comfortable, going to be able to macro up pretty solidly. So at this point, no kind of tech choices coming out of our Protoss yet. Going to need to wait for that Cybercore to finish to see what's going to be going on. But he is stockpiling up to 250 gas right now. By the time that Cybercore finishes, he's going to be above 300. And I'm really interested to see what kind of a tech path he's going to go. At this point, Stephano is doing nothing but drones whatsoever. I need to bring that up for you guys. And he is going to be pulling ahead on the worker count by quite a bit once he gets the macro going on all three of these bases. And so taking a third gas right there, and there's the Stargate. Okay, so we have one Stargate going on right now. And so from here, there's a couple of different options. He can actually drop a second Stargate. Okay, so with two Stargates close by air positions, which is, I'm going to call this close by air. I don't know if it's actually close by air. It might be kind of equidistant. With these double Stargates, he's going to be able to pump out 3 Void Rays is the most likely thing. You either do 1 Void Ray or you do 3 Void Rays. I think 2 is typically not what you see. And if Stephano doesn't scout this with his Overlords, it's going to be really hard to defend. We saw last game he actually did not get an Evolution Chamber until about the 8.5 minute mark. So if he doesn't scout this and he's not prepared for it, those Void Rays and the Phoenixes can do a lot of damage. Right now, we should see this Overlord and this Overlord coming in to take a look pretty soon. So if we go ahead and look at Stephano's vision, he sees that there's no gas taken right there, but he hasn't seen that gas, and he hasn't checked the gases in the main. So you can almost assume at this point that the gases in the main have been taken, but you don't know for sure. And if you're not seeing the gas right there, really clever choice by Elfi to place it on the interior gas so that this overlord that he's well aware of is not able to see it. So at this point, Stephano's probably thinking, this could be really heavy gateway pressure, but it's not. It's going to be a couple of Void Rays coming out. Already have 2 on the field, 2 more in production. Going to go up to a total of 4 Void Rays at this point. We'll see if he continues production from there, but that is going to be really hard for Stephano to defend. He does have an Evolution Chamber down. Took that at the 7-minute mark, like he would standardly do. No second gas is coming down, or excuse me, third and fourth gas is coming down just yet. Going to be producing mostly roaches at this point, getting snargling speed, and as soon as he sees those Void Rays come out with the Overlord, he starts putting down Spore Crawlers everywhere. 5 Spore Crawlers going down in the main, bringing up his Queen from the natural. Going to start producing Queen at the natural and at the third, and there's going to be 1 Queen going down right there. The second Queen going to be starting to get targeted, but as soon as those Spore Crawlers pop, those Void Rays are going to have to get out of dodge. If he does make his way down to the natural, he will be able to do a lot of damage over there. He is still producing Void Rays at home, going to be building a 5th and 6th Void Ray. And these Void Rays that are charged, I'm wondering if they're not going to... Yeah, they're keeping their charge, but they're not doing too good of a job of targeting down things like those Spore Crawlers. When the Spore Crawlers were moving, they were very vulnerable to attack, very slow off the creep. And I guess he's just going to try to stay in the main right now, losing the second Void Ray. And there are no queens left in the main. Going to be targeting down the Roach Warren for now. I don't know why he's not. He's really bungling this with the Void Rays. He should have been able to target down that Spore Crawler right there. If he had gotten 1, then he could get the second one with almost impunity. And at the same time, there is going to be a big run by. It looks like Elfi might not be able to hold this. He's going to need to drop some force fields as soon as that gateway drops. Otherwise, there's going to be a big run by into the base, and he bungles the force field. Zerglings get by. There's enough hexes for them to squeeze in there. That's going to do a lot of damage to his mineral line, be a real big nuisance, and he needs to get that rebuilt right away. He's actually having to bring his Void Rays home to deal with those Zerglings, and that's not something you want to do. This gives Zerg time to recover, gives him time to get a 4th base up, and he's in a pretty rough way. We'll see what Stephano's doing. At this point, it looks like he's going to choose to keep on going to the Hydralisk tech. Kind of an interesting choice, because there's a bit of a run to get to the bases of our Protoss over here. And those Hydralisks can be really slow off creep, and if the Hydralisk gets scouted by your opponent, they can actually switch to Colossus tech, and Colossus do so well against those slow and really low life light Hydralisks. So Colossus will just annihilate them. But if Elfi is going to be continuing to produce Phoenixes like he is, then yeah, this is a really good decision. Hydralisks do very well against Phoenixes and against Void Rays. So if Stephano can continue to spread some creep, make sure that he's trying to fight on creep as much as he can until he gets maxed out, this Stargate play is going to be really ineffectual here by the Protoss player. +1 finally coming out for our Protoss, something that's really necessary. Once you get to +1 attack for the Zealots, they do 2-shot Zerglings, so that's an extremely important upgrade to have. And it's really odd to see it coming out this late. I mean, at this point, he's built so many Void Rays. He lost 2, maybe 3. He's got 4 left. He's producing 2 more. That's going to be a total of 8 Void Rays in this game. They are not cheap units. Look at that. 250, 150. So total cost something like 1,800 and 1,100 gas. You know, not something cheap at all. That he's sunk into that, and I really don't think that they've been too effective. Effectual. I just made up a word. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Pretty nice force fields coming down at this point, but there's just not enough of an army to really deal with this from Elfi. Phoenix is going to be going in and trying to get some pickups, but there's still 7 Hydralisks that are going to be able to do quite a bit of damage. And the Void Ray is actually able to pick off the Hydras in a pretty effective manner. The Phoenixes are actually pretty good against Hydras. when the Hydras are in small numbers, because they do extra damage to light. They do double the damage to light units, but getting those Void Rays into the range of... Oh, man, Getting the Void Rays into the range of the Spore Callers right there is where most of the damage is coming from. You can see all of the Hydras have been killed at this point. Stephano is on 4 base, but Elfi didn't even know about that. He only saw the 3rd base. He might have been able to assume that there was a 4th base there, but I kind of disagree with the decision to GG there. I mean, I'm not the pro player here, but I think that Elfi had a little bit more of a shot than he might have been giving himself a chance for. But anyway, we move on to Game 3. Good game comes out of the Acer player. And yeah, this once again was Beef. I've been your streaming commentating host. And check back soon for Game 3.